Hey everybody, this is DM Mike, and this is the first radio drama. I'm gonna call them cutscenes from now on. I think maybe cutscenes is more appropriate in case you're new to this channel. It's a cutscene done in a radio drama type format. So this is the first one right out of the gate. I played this opening night for the epilogue adventure, and this one concerned the Draakhorn. Now, there's a lot of information if you're DM that you can find about the Draakhorn in the first few pages of the book. Let's say the first 10 pages or so. And it just kind of details what the Draakhorn is. And essentially, it's a horn shaped in a tooth of a Tiamat, tooth of a dragon, which I think came from Tiamat, if that makes any sense. And it takes like trolls to carry it. It's really big. It's not like this little tiny horn you can carry around and go, it's bigger than that. And they blow in it. The dragons hear it. They come to it. And that's it. More things happen, but I don't want to get into that. But that's essentially it. You know, for the purposes of a cutscene, I really wanted to make that a little more grandeur, to make it more robust, more entertaining. So for me, the Draakhorn is actually like 3 devices. It is this huge machine that sits in a cavern that's like, you know, it's mountainous, it's huge. And it's like an organ, like a playing organ that you would find like an old Catholic church or, I don't know, any church that would have an organ, right? But it's huge. It's on a massive scale, a mountainous scale that reaches... It's attached to a platform and reaches far into the abyss, these huge pipes. And of course, the Draakhorn, the tooth, is attached to it. That's the second device. And that activates the Draakhorn, and it sends out this huge bellowing resonance, this sound that the dragons are called to. And it's not just a sound. It is the voice of Tiamat speaking in Draconic, calling the dragons to her. And so I kind of made it into 3 pieces, that huge organ and the tooth. And also the third piece is like these 5 stones that sit around the Draakhorn. And you have to have like at least a scale from each chromatic dragon. And you put it into each stone representing those dragons. And it activates and like powers the device. I don't know, Cliff Notes version, but that's how I've done it. It's not really going to affect the adventure by any means, but it was just fun to kind of create something a little bit different for the purposes of the cutscene. Now, in this cutscene, I'll put some images up. You'll have Varam, Rathmodar, and Severin. You can get a little feel for their motives in the book as well. Those first 8 to 10 pages kind of breaks those down. I wanted to have all the kind of top leaders kind of together there as they're walking into the Draakhorn for the first time and activating it. And that's essentially what this is. All right, it's the activation of the Draakhorn, and it's called the Song of Stones. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead. It's about 6 minutes, maybe 6 minutes and 52 seconds or something. I should really check these things before I hit record. But anyway, here it is, guys, the Song of Stones.
It was a pit blacker than night. A deep hollow that sank into the depths of the earth, that could swallow a dragon whole, seemingly with no end to its darkness, both above and below. Skirting the circumference of the massive cavity, an enclosed walkway was carved into the stone, along with 5 triangular obelisks, made from black obsidian, with gold runes and notchwork painstakingly etched onto the surface. And in the center of each was a large rectangular groove. In the middle of the great pit, a single walkway made of black ivory extended above the naked abyss and connected to a large circular platform where a series of enormous cylindrical devices rested, its organ-like pipes expanding deep into the gloom below. 3 humans, flanked by 2 trolls carrying a large ebony stone, shaped like the teeth of a dragon, steadily walk towards the ancient device.
As you can see, the visions have remained true. Here, my brothers, is one of the last remaining artifacts needed to bring our cause to its conclusion.
Indeed, it is truly a wonder to behold, Severin. So this is where the Codex has led us. To this device?
Yes. The organum, along with the mask, are the key. Separately, they are trifling antiques, but together, they will awaken a long slumber of command in the beast. What you will hear today, no mortal has heard in eons. It will be as if the living rock has suddenly found its voice.
I fail to see how this device will lead the dragons to our calls. The worms are, get it, greedy, territorial. Lenathan and the others have been, at best, incredibly difficult to both control and command. How will we control a horde?
Dragons will never willingly take command from mortals like us. The beasts are part of the world, but this instrument, known as the Dragon's Song, will speak to them and draw them to us. In essence, it will weaken their resolve and allow us time to enact our influence. We will speak to them as gods, not men. Farah, have the trolls place the artifact into the device. At once, Lord. Wrath, have your wizards ready to insert the keys on my command. The chromatic voice must be in unison, or the magic will fail.
Very well, it will be done. I still believe this may be a mistake. To control so many.
Tiamat does not give false visions. Soon you will see what she has foretold. They will listen to me.
The four trolls lift the artifact and insert it directly into the machine, and with a satisfying click, the device suddenly comes to life.
It is time.
Wrath and Baram bow and walk back across the bridge. Severin reveals a mask made of metal, jewels, and enchanted stone, shaped like the visage of an ancient dragon. As he dons the mask, his eyes glow an electric red, as archaic runes suddenly emerge like streaks of fire on his skin.
Enter the first key.
Standing by the first obelisk, a red wizard nods and inserts a large green metallic dragon scale directly into the groove. The scale glows as energy flows through the etched stone like blood through veins. At the edge of the abyss, one of the life-size stone heads of a green dragon carved into the rock comes to life, eyes glowing, steam releasing, and its enormous fanged mouth slowly opens. One by one, the stones are activated as black, blue, white, and lastly red are inserted, each connected to an enormous effigy of a dragon. Suddenly, a hurricane of wind seems to enter the chamber, filling the void below, as if caught in a celestial vacuum. And without warning, the cave suddenly becomes silent. Wrath, watching from one of the obelisks, leaning on his cane, squints as he scans the cavern awaiting an unknown force.
I hope he knows what he's doing.
Severin glances at the ceiling, shrouded in darkness.
Come, servants of the deep. Hear the call of your queen.
Then it is awakened. A deep, resonating bellow erupts from the immense dragon heads made of stone, summoning their brethren in ancient Draconic.
Farvel man van Kruon, Mudreman, Ishtalaman, Folun Thaum.
Outside of the cavern, the entire realm awakens to the earthly summons. Nature groans as wildlife scatters from the unnatural bellow that seems to have come from hell itself. From hidden caves, misty mountains, ancient forests, and castles lost to time, the dragon's song cries out. Scales shimmer and wings expand as the great serpents rise from their hollows. The cry of war awakening the heart of the beasts.
Hear my command. The tyranny and the reign of dragons begin here.
So there you have it. That is the activation of the device. We have the 3 major players there, and usually when I'm doing a cutscene, behind me is a TV, 55-inch, and I usually put an image up, kind of like what I just did for you. Images, so you know, have some kind of visual representation, so you can help kind of imagine it as the radio drama is playing. Now at this point in the adventure, I have about 5 done. This is the first one. I'm working on a 6th one right now for next Friday's game. And again, they're not played in every single session. I wish I had the time to do that, but I don't. But as you can see, it really sets up the stage, and I kind of cranked it up to 11 on a scale of 1 to 5. And, I have Severin in there and the way the masks interact with the flesh, and just calling all those dragons. It took about 3 versions to get that right. The original ending was a little bit different, more subtle. But, I got some feedback, and I went back and felt like I needed to punch it up a little bit. And so you can hear all those dragons flying towards the Draakhorn and hearing its call. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I got for you today. It's just that quick first cutscene. 4 more to come eventually. We'll get into the character ones, and then also the most recent one I've done for the opening of Chapter 2. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. More to come, and I'll see you in the next one.